Hey guys, this episode is going to have a lot of information. So if you want to skip around to a specific part of character building, there are going to be timestamps in the description, as well as the flowcharts and other materials that I'll be using. So without further ado, let's get started. At a certain angle, a three-dimensional cube looks exactly like a square, flat. And that's what a character can look like too. As a writer, you don't want your characters to feel like cardboard cutouts that you're just sliding around a stage. Honestly, if you're writing a short story for school, that's not such a big issue. But if you're making characters for something longer, or planning to act them out in a role playing game, you might look into making your square into a cube. So, how do you do that? Well, the trick is to know more about your character than the audience. A lot of times, if you write a character enough, you'll start learning more about them on the way. This is because writing them starts putting the character in situations that make you think about how they'd behave. But that often means you're sitting around waiting for an idea to strike so you can write out a situation to learn more about them. So let's ditch the sitting around and just start having fun making characters in isolation. Who knows? Maybe a story will suggest itself through your new inventions. I hope you like the number 3 because things are going to break down into threes a lot. Characters come with a lot of details. So let's start by making a list. Yeah! What are you doing here? Making lists. Characters are more than just their height or the color of their hair. In fact, you don't have to start with knowing any of that about a character at all. Let's get under the surface and look at what forms a character's personality. You can split it up into 3 broad categories: how they express themselves, how they react to things, and how they relate to people. As you can see, they overlap a fair bit, and that's fine. Let's look at them one by one. How a character expresses themselves can break down into 3 categories again: speech, body, and style. Wait a minute, why are these breaking into 3 again? What is this? It's called organization. Look it up. Body breaks down into their posture, their gestures, and their facial expressions. Style breaks down into what clothes they wear, their grooming, you know how they keep their hair, how neat those clothes are, and what they carry with them, like an actor's props. Speech breaks down into their tone of voice, how they speak, and the words they use. Then we come to how characters react to things, to loss or happiness, or even something as simple as losing their balance. How they deal with situations or what unconscious reactions they make tell you a lot about a person. How a character relates refers more to the connections they make with the world around them. How do they relate to other people or things? What kind of sibling are they? Do they have any heroes? Is there an animal or a symbol or a date that resonates with them in some special way? If you're a reader, say a literature student, this is useful too. Let's say you've just read a story and your teacher is now expecting you to write about what the character was like. If the author wasn't considerate enough to be upfront about it, it really helps to look at everything that's been mentioned about them. Not just what the narrator says about what they're wearing or how they hold themselves or how they express themselves, but also what other characters say about them and their opinions. If you're an aspiring actor, the same applies. You can't just read the lines. You have to relate to the dialogues and situations the way you'd expect the character to. So it really helps to try and get to know them a little bit. Now don't worry, we're not going to answer every single one of these points in very specific detail. In fact, you only have to answer a few of them to start getting a handle of the kind of character you're creating. And as you play with them more and as you write them, you may learn a lot more about them. Maybe you don't learn everything about them. There are several characters I've created that I know a lot about. I still don't know what color their eyes are or how tall they are because it's not important to the story. This video has gotten a little longer than my usual ones and I don't want to lose you, so we're going to stop the information here and I'm going to put the activities in another video right there, so if you're raring to go, follow it.